A deck of cards, 52 pieces of paper, but they hold mystery, magic, and mischief.
How, you may ask?
Well, they aren't just plain pieces of paper to write on. They're versatile and can do many things, from using them to play games, perform magic. And today, they'll be used for shuffling tricks. We will test how far we can push our skills and transform these simple cards into an art form in just one day.
You may think of the standard bridge, or even a sloppy overhand shuffle at best.
But not today. Today we're diving into the world of cardistry, the flashy, jaw-dropping art of manipulating cards.
Starting out with the Z grip.
And I'll be taking the Charlier cut.
As I stared down at the deck of cards, knowing that the Z grip is a foundation move to learn, I only had to divide the deck into 3 packets and hold them in a Z shape.
There's always this voice that makes you believe you can't even learn the simplest of tricks. But today is not that day. Nothing will stop me from learning the Charlier cut.
So the plan is simple. Use one hand to cut the deck in half, and then rotate the deck to move the top half of the deck to the bottom.
As this will be the simplest trick that will be learned, it's still the coolest way to make a Z.
So I gave it a few attempts. The first few were a bit of a mess, but once my hands understood what I needed to do, I got it down in no time.
So on to the next.
I've been practicing this trick for a short while.
And struggling to get my hands to move the cards correctly. I kept on trying, and after 20 minutes, I finally did it.
I did it!
So it's time to kick it up a notch with the next trick, with the pirouette, which honestly does not look too difficult, as it's similar to spinning a ball on your finger.
The pirouette goes something like this. I place the card between my middle finger and my thumb, directly in the center of the card, pinching the card in place. Then, using my index finger, I will try to spin it in either direction, whichever feels more natural. And once I spin the card, I lift my thumb, and the card should spin on my middle finger.
Well, my next trick is a card shot. As the name implies.
All I have to do is shoot the card from one hand to the next. However, with this trick, I won't be throwing the card. Instead, I have to pinch the card in between 2 fingers and get the card to shoot off my thumb and land on my other hand.
At first glance, it looks quite simple, but from experience, these tricks are never as easy as they seem.
There was no time to waste, so I got to work, but as I held that one card in my hand, I was lost and confused.
I was confident that I was going to get this trick down quickly, but I had underestimated how hard it was for me to understand this trick.
Flicking my index finger and lifting my thumb nearly at the same time felt impossible. Either I would release too early and the card would fall out of my hand, or the card would hit my thumb before getting a single rotation.
I had to watch the tutorial once again and found that my issue is that I have to continue pushing and somehow force the card to flick off my thumb. Doing this, the card should shoot off nicely and go in the direction I want. After several failed attempts, I finally got the card to go in the direction that I wanted. But the next challenge was catching the card.
This doesn't seem too hard. This trick will be done real quick, or so I thought.
But after what felt like an eternity, this happened.
After a lot of trial and error, something clicked, and I saw my first pirouette. And after that moment, I was able to do the trick without so much struggle. And all I had to do was change the direction that I flicked my index finger in. Surprisingly, pulling my finger towards my hand instead of away made a world of a difference.
As these two brothers started to complete one trick after the next, it was
Time to ramp up the difficulty with
the card fan and Kulish's cut.
the card fan is one of those tricks that looks deceptively simple, as it's just fanning out the deck, but when done right, it's so satisfying to watch.
However, once I started spreading the cards in a fan motion, it would somewhat work, and the cards were spread, but it was not an evenly spread fan, with each card visible. After a short time of endless trial and error, I finally managed to get a nice looking fan,
Let's go, finally!
with all of the cards being visible to an extent.
Now it's time to level up and try the Kalush's cut, which honestly doesn't seem too difficult. It's similar to the Z grip with just a few extra steps.
The trick goes something like this. I do a Z grip and then I pinch the center packet with my middle finger and thumb. Once I have a hold of it, I rotate the packet over my index finger, putting these cards below the packet in my left hand. Then I take the pack in my right hand and place it underneath the center packet. I fix the card's orientation and then boom, the trick is done. At first, it was difficult to get a good grip on the center packet and all the cards went all over the place. After a while, working on getting my middle finger to extend far enough and get a good grip of the cards, this happened.
Let's go. This is actually boosting my ego. But I can't get over my head as I complete a simple trick.
After countless card tricks, y'all might be thinking, After completing all these tricks, there's no way they don't master this last trick. But when it comes to learning skills, anything is possible. As of right now, I only had the card spring to be mastered. And I only have 4 hours left in this challenge.
So this deck of cards still hold many mysteries and many tricks to conquer. With time not in my favor, I was worried that I would fail to master these card tricks.
Despite that, I had to take on Sybil, which is a long and complicated trick, which I still don't understand. I basically have to work my way up to create 5 packets, hold them in both hands, and then bring it all together.
As soon as I started to try to create the perfect card spring, I ran into an issue, and that was
That on every attempt, the cards would just end up on the floor, creating a mess and a pain to pick up. So attempt after attempt, it wasn't getting any easier. Not only was I causing the cards to burst out of my grip, my left hand will miss them completely, making me spend more time cleaning up than trying the trick.
It's been a couple of hours with no success. On each attempt, I get stuck in the last couple of steps.
Keeping the cards under control feels impossible. I would drop them each time I tried, and my hands didn't want to cooperate. I just hope I can figure it out before the time runs out.
I am near the 1 hour mark. I have gotten a better feel for the trick, but I still fumble and drop all the cards on the floor.
right now, I am feeling like this challenge is going to defeat me. But I won't give up until this timer goes off.
Several attempts later, this happened.
Let's go, I did it!
Maybe it was luck, or maybe I did it enough to nail the trick, but I can't complain.
As I continued to try, my hands were finally able to understand the movements, and it was looking cleaner every time. So after a few more minutes, I finally managed to do this.
Let's go!